Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the war that is happening in Israel and concerning Iran. I thought what I could do to possibly get some answers here is to look at the charts of their leaders and their country, which is Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel's chart, as well as Iran's chart and the leader Ali Khamenei. So we are going to look at these charts to get some answers as to where we're going with this, what's going to be happening. So with that, before I start, remember I want to remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter, which is go to my website, galacticcenter.org, and you will get all of my predictions delivered to your email absolutely free every week. So go to galacticcenter.org, and while you're there, check out my Patreon page, become a member, join our community, and get exclusive information from me, and become part of a group of like-minded people. You will love it. It's all there. As well as I'm going to start a galactic planner where you can get all of your information personally delivered to your calendar. That's going to be starting up soon, so you won't want to miss all these things. All of that you can find out about on galacticcenter.org. And also I have a school on Vedic astrology. If you're interested, go to universityofvedicastrology.com. Now let's put up the charts of these leaders and countries to get some answers here. So the one thing that I've been scoping out, looking at the leader of Israel, Netanyahu, in his chart, his moon sits right there at 26 degrees of Virgo. This is so important because K2 crossed over his moon relatively about the time that the war started. It started around October, and really the nodes shifted signs the end of November. And now we have the eclipses that just happened in April aspecting his moon. The moon is the most personal part of a chart, and he even has Rahu at 23 degrees of Pisces, right where transiting Rahu is right now. It's actually around the time of the eclipse, and now the month of May, it sits at 21 degrees of Pisces. So basically within a 3-degree range. This is giant that he's got a nodal return, and they're affecting his natal moon. And I must say that is intense, but more than anything, what's going to be happening the month of May is that Mars is going to be in Pisces. And I want you to know Mars in Pisces is going to be the most intense. This entire month of May, while Mars is there, it's going to be affecting Netanyahu's moon and Rahu and K2, and even his Mercury. But Mars is violence, and Mars is coming together with Rahu. So it truly affects his chart personally in a huge big way. But I will say, I think he's going to be stronger at his game than looking at the charts for Iran and Ali Khamenei, which is the leader of Iran. So putting up his chart. Now remember, we don't have his birth time. So we're basically just looking at the planets, not necessarily relatively through the houses at all. But we know that his moon sits in Pisces somewhere, according to whatever time he's born. But primarily, most of the day, the moon is in Pisces. And that means that Mars Rahu are hitting his moon, which his moon is opposite Netanyahu's moon. So as I always state, the moon is the most important planet in a chart, and both moons are being affected, one by the conjunction and one by the opposition. So the eclipse, the Mars Rahu, are crossing over at some point Khomeini's moon and his Saturn. So this is really important. I really think that he is going to be the one that's going to be attacked, more so than Israel. There is a lot coming down for him, looking at Mars and Rahu coming over his moon. And if you'll notice, his Saturn sits there at 28 degrees of Pisces. And Mars, towards the end of May, will be around 25 to 26 degrees of Taurus, which will be, we don't know where his moon is, we just know it's in Pisces, but we know it's going to hit his Saturn towards the end of the month. And Saturn is the planet that deals with karma, that deals with repercussions, deals with consequences. And let me just say, Mars' aspect to Saturn is very harsh and deliberate and very difficult. I will say that for sure. And so this looks crucial and it looks critical. When I pull up the chart for Iran, I mean, still, all in all, we're getting planets in Pisces where Mars and Rahu are transiting. And let me say this too. One thing for sure is that Neptune is right on Iran's Mercury, which means Neptune means you can't see what's happening. You can't see the truth. You're being deceived, or that there's no clarity at all about this. And this is a problem, a major problem. They don't see what's coming. That's what's really, really detrimental and very important. Now, Mars in April was with Saturn around 22 degrees. And actually, Mars, the day that they started all the drones, which is right now in April as I speak, but it is right there on K2. And we're talking like right now around the 14th, the 13th, the 14th of April. Mars is right on their K2 in Iran, in the 8th house. This looks very, very difficult for Iran. Iran is asking for it, and it does not look good for them. This is a real issue and problem for them. If this chart is correct, which I have, this was the chart for their country, I even had the time, this puts K2 in their 8th house. So this is a house of death, endings, problems, major problems, corruption, destruction. And Mars and Saturn are on K2. Now, regardless, as Mars breaks off and goes into Pisces for the month of May, we'll be in Pisces the whole month of May, Mars is going to cross over their Mars, their Mercury, and their Sun. This looks like they will be attacked. They're sending all the attacks, but this is crucial that they're getting attacked. And yes, they had their leaders attacked in Syria, and this is what's caused their aggression towards Israel. But this means that they will be attacked some more. This is more, and this is coming. May looks like all out war for Iran and Israel. I hope I'm wrong. But even when I look at their chart, I mean, natal Saturn even sits in Leo, which has been aspected by Mars and Saturn in Aquarius. But once Mars goes into Pisces, it looks like they're going to be angered even more, but they're going to get a full end attack with Mars transiting over natal Mars, Mercury, and the Sun. And don't forget, in a country's chart, the Sun represents the leader, and that means attacks with the leader. This looks really difficult for Iran. So look, going back to Ali Khomeini's chart, we have the moon, we have Mercury, we have Jupiter. We have Jupiter, Mercury, moon, and Saturn for him, all in Pisces. And this is where Mars and Saturn will be throughout May. So I am seeing some detrimental effects for him and his country. And looking at Benjamin Netanyahu's chart, he's got Rahu in Pisces, where transiting Mars is. It's going to cross over that Rahu about the second, third week, fourth week in May. And this is major all-out war affecting them. Now, K2, which has been in Virgo, transiting K2, it's crossed over his moon, his K2, and will be on his Mercury, which is devastating for him as well. This looks like all-out conflict and war, and it looks like a lot of countries are going to be pulled into this. This is scary. So let me just say, all the pieces are here. All the transits are activating an all-out violent attack, both ways. And let me just say, it's just the beginning, I think, or the beginning of the end, hopefully, but it looks dangerous and it looks violent. So astrologically, this is an update. I just wanted to keep you and those of you that love and know astrology to be able to see these charts, be able to see why this is happening, and see that there's violence. Mars coming together with Rahu is extraordinarily violent. And it even relates back to where Jupiter is. This affects the economy around the world because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. So as Jupiter shifts signs, there's going to be some major repercussions. And one thing I do see for the chart of Israel, as Jupiter does go into Taurus, it's going to cross over the Sun in Israel, which means I think Israel has the edge. Israel will turn out being better in this position and in this war between Iran. So that's my take on it. And I am not looking forward to this one single bit. But I just wanted to give you a little update astrologically so you could be in the know of what to expect and what is going on astrologically in accordance to Israel and Iran. So thank you for listening. If you would like more information on me, a reading, or sign up for my Patreon or newsletter, go to galacticcenter.org. And also remember, if you want to study with me, become my student, go to the University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.